Alrighty, Mustang fans or Dark Horse fans here. So I'm gonna try this again. Gonna replace the front stock splitter on the Dark Horse. This time, instead of with the Steeda version, it is from FFP, which is probably all from the same manufacturer, maybe DX Carbon or something like that. I'm not sure, but if you already followed me, you knew I had a hard time getting the other one on there and seated incorrectly. So I'm really hoping that this one will work out. It actually does have a different part number. You can't see it real yet. I'll flash it up on the screen where it's clear, but has a different part number than the previous one is. But the install is going to go, of course, the same as before, except this one's going to fit, right? Let's hope, fingers crossed. All right, I'm going to take the other one off. If you don't know how to do it, you can look at the previous video. I'll link in this one that shows you how to pull everything off the stock setup. So this time what I did was just use my ramps, jacked it up high enough, slid my ramps underneath there. Gives me a good 6 inches or so, 6 3/4 inches at the base of the tires, and holds it more even. So just in case I had any kind of sideways flex or something last time that maybe you've been hanging me up, I want to make sure everything was exact height on both sides. So I think I had it pretty straight last time, but just in case, be the exact same height. So anyway, I'll get started. Alrighty, so this seems to fit perfectly on here. A lot better than the original one. It actually slid up on in there perfectly. I was able to mesh this tightly in here now, as opposed to the first one I tried, all the way down and around, none of the gaps. So yeah, this is going great. Love it. The FFP one I do recommend. It is a different part number than what I had from the Steeda, but definitely fits right. Alrighty, Dark Horse fans, I got the FFP carbon fiber front splitter put on. This is the non-performance pack Dark Horse. So if you're looking for the wider, performance pack type splitter, the FFP one worked much better for me than the Steeda one did. It would slide up into place. I could seat it in properly. I think there was some little bit of a tolerance or tooling issues with the other carbon fiber piece. They are actually different part numbers, but yeah, it looks really, really good on there. It was a pain in the ass to put on, real talk here. I mean, it slid up in there perfectly, but to get the bottom shroud in there properly took a lot of finagling. I would say, for future use, if you were to install this yourself, you can see it comes in perfectly here in the backside. There is a screw, a hole. Let's see if I can get my camera up in there, but right up in there, there's a hole. And that hole requires a push pin to come through. And you could put a screw through there if you wanted to. One of the self-tapping screws that came with the kit in there instead, and I probably would if you don't drill it out, but hold on. Loud car going by. All right, so the push pin wouldn't really go through all the way. I had a really hard time. You have to kind of drill it out, which, when you got the tire on here and everything, it's hard to drill it out. You don't really have room to do that in this spot. So I would just pre-drill it yourself ahead of time, and that way you have enough room. And that's just the very last hole on this top carbon fiber piece. It's just a little bit tighter than it needs to be to fit the push pan in. The front one was perfect, so I would just widen it up just a little bit to get it through there easy, or use one of the set screws. It was actually the same on both sides. The driver's side, of course, is more of a pain because there's a hose underneath there that gets in the way as well, but that's really the main issue I had that took most of the time. It took me about 3 hours to put all this on, and I didn't really take my time. I just pushed on through it all, but I did take my time to make sure I didn't break anything. Now, some more real talk. When you actually do this stuff yourself. Oh, goodness, go underneath here. You can see I'm missing one here. And so the clips that you put onto this black piece here that I showed you, the inner piece that comes stock in your car, I would go ahead and pre-compress them, you know, to get them really tight on there. And I did that on all of them instead of using, say, like tape to kind of hold them in place. And that worked really good, although finagling this thing on, getting it all in there, because it has to, let me go wide angle. Oh, it is wide angle, actually. Oh, shoot. Let me see. So as you can see here looking, you have to get this piece slid in under here and above the bumper piece that's in there, and then you end up screwing all these in into it, right? I actually have a push pin on this one because it came out, rather the clip that I'm pointing to here came out on this one. I lost it somewhere in there and I'm not gonna pull the whole damn thing off, so I just used the push pin instead for that. So that's a good little quick fix for you. But this one actually I tightened up a little bit too tight, and it broke the head off. So I'm not too worried about it. There's plenty of bolts on here. This thing seems really secured on there now. But yeah, that was probably the only two. You know, this one was my fault. I over torqued it. It's easy to do. This one, well, technically I guess would be my fault, just trying to, it's just really the pain of putting this in here, getting it slid over this lip here, this plastic piece, and then above the stock bumper piece that's in there, it's the colored piece of your car. You want that on top of that. So you want this slid on top of that top bumper piece, and then you'll screw in through here into this clip that's on top of it, right? So you hold it all together. Stock screws were plenty long and all that, so they did a really good job as far as placement and everything, but everything is an exact fit. Now the extra screws that come on here in the kit, I think were probably meant to fill in these holes here, but you don't have any clips in there to use, so it would have been better if the stock piece wasn't pre-drilled like that. And I think this is just probably pre-drilled for weep holes for rain and stuff, but you could have used them because they were self-tapping screws had this not been already pre-drilled. So you know, I think that might have been the intent, but on my particular car, maybe not all of them have them already pre-drilled like this, but mine does. And so yeah, but yeah, everything else went together just fine. I mean, I guess technically, you know, you should always put this part on here because you have the Darkhorse, you have the air duct cooling system here to cool your brakes and everything. So you want to put it all back together like OE. Now this bottom piece, this is going to be scratched up, I'm sure, with rocks and chips and stuff. I actually have a little scratch here on this one, just from messing around with it, I guess. But yeah, other than that, it is beautiful. Now, if you could get this up on the lift, it would have been much easier, of course. I'm about 6 inches up, 6 3/4 inches or so like that, up off the ground. I used my Rhino ramps that I had here in the garage and put it on here, but I'll put it on the ground, take it out in the sun, take some pictures and show you that at the end of this. But all in all, it was a easy, you know, mechanically it's easy to put on. It's just a bunch of ass screws to take on and off. This one slid on perfectly. Like I said, I really liked that it was able to slide on. You had to put a little bit of force in it. Don't be afraid to shove it on there and kind of wiggle a little bit to get it up on there. But so it does get into place, and you'll know it's into place because you have it fully seated here, as opposed to my other one wasn't fully seated here. I actually found it easier to go from left, get that slid on first, and then start and shove that one all the way into place, and then shove the rest of them in as well. Of course, you have to kind of already have this up into place, like it all is kind of staying in the proper place ahead of time, but I started forcing it in from the left, going to the right. And that worked better than starting from the center going out. Just my 2 cents on my particular car. But all right, yeah, really cool. Loved how it turned out. I'll drop some pictures of it out in the sun here. Leave some comments if you have some questions. If you want me to install it for you, think again. If you're in the Houston area, but no, it's a really cool piece, and you can be proud once you get it all installed. So, all right, I'm out. Thanks for watching.